You will be executed next week. But you will never be able to predict the day. Today's story is about the trap set by this single sentence. Let's begin. Once again, there are almost no difficult formulas today. Our weapon today isn't numbers, it's words and logic. A single one-sentence verdict can trap even the smartest logician in the world. And here's the cruel twist. The people who fall into this trap are the ones most convinced their reasoning was flawless. Our star today is the unexpected hanging paradox. It's also known as the surprise examination paradox, after the classic pop quiz at school. Here's the plot. A condemned prisoner uses seemingly airtight logic to prove that he can never be executed. But a few days later, he really is executed. And exactly as his own proof guaranteed, completely by surprise. Every line looked correct, yet the conclusion was the exact opposite of reality. So where did that perfect reasoning start to crack? Today we'll take this reasoning apart step by step, and by the end you'll walk away with a little tool that measures surprise as a number. Chapter 1. The Judge's Sentence. In a courtroom, a judge hands down this sentence to a prisoner. You will be executed on one day next week, between Monday and Friday. But until the morning of the execution, you will never know in advance which day it is. It will be a perfect surprise execution. Read it carefully, and the judge has actually made two promises. Promise A, execution, and Promise B, surprise. And here, knowing doesn't mean a lucky guess. It means pinpointing the day with 100% certainty, no logical escape hatch. Let's borrow just two symbols. For any day D, we'll write the execution happens that day as ED. And we'll write before that morning arrives. The prisoner knows it for certain as KD. Then the judge's sentence boils down to this one line. On some day D the execution happens, and up until that morning KD never happens. The execution will definitely happen, but knowing the day in advance never will. This one short line is everything today. Chapter 2. The Prisoner's Perfect Reasoning. Back in his cell, the prisoner despairs at first, but the more he thinks it through, the more a smile creeps across his face. He starts thinking backward from the very end of the calendar, Friday. Step 1. Friday is impossible. Suppose Thursday night comes and goes, and the guard never shows up. Only one day is left, Friday. By Thursday night, the prisoner already knows, it's tomorrow, with 100% certainty. That directly violates Promise B, the surprise, so the execution can't be on Friday. Step 2. Then Thursday is impossible too. After all, Friday was just crossed off the list. Now Thursday is effectively the last day. If the guard hasn't come by Wednesday night, he becomes certain. Only Thursday is left. The surprise breaks again, so Thursday is out too. Step 3. The same logic spreads like dominoes. Wednesday falls, then Tuesday, all the way down to Monday. Here's that flow in a picture. Friday gets crossed off first, and following the yellow arrow, the dominoes fall right to left all the way to Monday. Then it hits him. From Monday to Friday, not a single day allows a surprise execution. The judge's sentence is logically impossible. I'm saved. And he sleeps soundly that night. Chapter 3. And then, Wednesday morning. The week begins. Monday, quiet. Tuesday, nothing happens either. The prisoner relaxes even more, sure that his proof was right. And then Wednesday morning. The guard knocks on his door. The prisoner is stunned. Truly, genuinely, completely caught off guard. As of yesterday, he firmly believed the execution was impossible. And here's the chilling twist. Both of the judge's promises were kept perfectly. Not a single word of the judge's sentence was false. The prisoner's proof, on the other hand, was shattered. He proved every day was impossible, so how did Wednesday just walk right in? If reasoning that looks right produces a wrong conclusion, the culprit must be hiding inside that reasoning. Let's go find it. Chapter 4. The first step was right, and that's what made it dangerous. First, let's give him credit for one thing. Step 1, ruling out Friday, is genuinely correct. If you've survived to Thursday night, and you know the execution must happen this week, then the remaining Friday is no longer a surprise. The problem is the step to the next square. Friday is crossed off, so Thursday is the new last day. That sentence is suspicious. That sentence quietly sneaks in an assumption that he possesses as certain knowledge, the fact that Friday is impossible. But what allowed him to cross off Friday in the first place? Only one thing. His belief in the judge's sentence. And this is where the trap springs, the moment he pushes the reasoning all the way and concludes that every day is impossible. At that moment, he has effectively declared the judge's sentence false. He's kicked away the very ladder he was standing on. His proof can only move forward while he believes the judge's words are true. Yet where the proof ends is the conclusion that the judge's words are false. The conclusion devours its own premise. So the more certain he becomes that execution is impossible, the more completely defenseless he is on the morning the guard bursts in. His proof didn't make him safe. It made him the easiest man in the world to blindside. The judge could keep his promise of surprise thanks to the prisoner's own proof. Let's verify this with numbers we can actually see. Chapter 5. Measuring surprise with a number. Surprising sounds like a feeling, but it can be measured cleanly. How little did I expect that event? That's the size of the surprise. We'll use one simple yardstick. If k possible execution days remain on a given morning, that day's surprise s is log base 2 of k. The unit is bits. Don't worry if logarithms feel unfamiliar. It's just a score that grows with more candidates and drops to 0 when only one remains. That reading is all you need. Let's apply this yardstick to the week. Monday morning. All 5 days are still possible. Surprise about 2.32 bits. Tuesday morning 4 days remain exactly 2 bits. Wednesday morning 3 days remain about 1.58 bits. Thursday morning 2 days remain exactly 1 bit. And Friday morning, just one candidate left. The surprise is exactly 0. With only one candidate, there's nothing to be surprised about. That corrects step 1 of his? Its true identity was exactly this fact. S equals 0. But every day except Friday has surprise greater than 0. Monday through Thursday, a genuine surprise is still possible. Here it is as a bar chart. The bars step down from the left like a staircase, and only at Friday do they touch the floor 0. The judge simply picked Wednesday, a day where 1.58 bits of surprise were still alive. The prisoner's reasoning treated Friday's 0 as if it could be copied onto the earlier days. But there's only one square with 0, the very last one. The dominoes in fact never fell past the first square. Chapter 6. However many days, the result is the same. If you're wondering whether this is just a coincidence of having 5 days, that's a good instinct. So we applied the same yardstick to weeks of different lengths. The left chart shows the surprise for each day when the week is 3, 5, or 7 days long. However the lines move, the only square where surprise hits 0 is always the very last day. For the judge, every day except that one remains safe for a surprise. The right chart holds the most wicked twist. The prisoner who trusted his proof 100% nailed every day's probability down to 0. But when an event you declared to have probability 0 actually happens, the surprise becomes infinite. By contrast, a cautious prisoner who never rules out any day feels at most a tame 2.32 bits of surprise. In the end, the one who surprised him most wasn't the judge. It was himself, the man who proved he could never be surprised. Chapter 7. So what's the real answer? By now it's clear. What collapsed wasn't the arithmetic. It was his assumption about his own future knowledge. He assumed far too easily that, I will come to know the execution day, and used that assumption as the bricks of his domino chain. But a prophecy about what I will come to know is a slippery thing, one that can undo itself the moment you believe it. And the name of that slipperiness is self-reference. The judge's sentence doesn't just state facts about the outside world. It points at the listener's own mental state. You will not know. Sentences that talk about your own knowing and not knowing often betray themselves. Meet the other members of this family. It's raining, but I don't believe that it's raining. That's Moore's paradox. Said by someone else about me, it could be true. Said by me about myself, it turns strange. This sentence is false. That's the liar paradox. Call it true and it becomes false. Call it false and it becomes true. The unexpected hanging paradox belongs to this same family. The forecast you will be surprised fails if you believe it and brace yourself, and comes true if you ignore it. This paradox is younger than you'd think. Around 1943 to 44, Swedish radio announced a surprise civil defense drill, adding that the day could not be known in advance. The story goes that the mathematician Leonard Ekbom spotted the contradiction in this broadcast. Then in 1948 the philosopher O'Connor gave it its first scholarly treatment, in 1953 Quine analyzed it head-on, and Martin Gardner spread it to the public. Fascinatingly, despite countless great minds taking a swing at it, there is still no single agreed-upon answer. That's exactly why this puzzle refuses to die. The most widely accepted diagnosis is Quine's. The prisoner's mistake was fixing in advance that, "I will come to know the day." He hastily closed off one possibility he should have kept open. "I will be executed tomorrow, and right now I don't know it." And the moment he closes off that possibility, paradoxically, the stage is set for exactly that to happen. Chapter 8, the finale. When the firmest certainty becomes the biggest blind spot. We followed all the way to the end how one short sentence traps a sharp logician. What broke wasn't the calculation, it was the certainty. Each step of the prisoner's reasoning looked plausible, but the moment it took his own future knowledge as its subject, it was quietly sabotaging itself. Today's lesson in one line. A proof that I can never be surprised is in itself the perfect setup for the biggest surprise of all. Prophecies like this aren't as solid as facts about the outside world. They wobble the moment you believe them, and the more certain you are, the bigger the blind spot. The confidence that pushed a domino chain that should have stopped at Friday all the way to Monday is exactly what made that Wednesday morning knock so devastating. The next time someone corners you with airtight logic, quietly ask yourself, is this reasoning by any chance talking about itself? If you walk away holding that one question, then today you're standing one step ahead of the prisoner. If you enjoyed today's journey, show your support with a like and subscribe. See you at ELLS Lab for the next Odyssey.